Alright, hello people and welcome back. A little bit of a late start for me today. Just probably gonna get in a couple of riffs here, but I was experimenting around with a different setup. And basically right now I have this setup here with that I've been using, Sith of the Sickle. So it uses bone armor whenever my bone armor is active. My secondary skills, which bone spear is, gain 400% additional damage, but it reduces the duration of bone armor by 4 seconds. So I have to keep on casting it, keep on casting it, keep on casting. Sometimes I forget. So I tried changing it around to this. Instead of having Sith of the Sickle, now I am wielding this instead of having this in my cube, but instead I was going with this right here. Each different poison skill I use increases the damage of my poison skills by 100%. So if I've got 5 poison skills, which I have in this setup, because there's no poison-based simulacrum, so I can only have 5. It's an extra 100% damage, and I don't need to keep casting, because this is 400% damage. With 5 skills, this would be 500% damage. So it's an extra 100% damage, and I don't need to keep casting bone armor over and over and over again. That was kind of the other benefit of it. But I'd have to be giving up my curse and devour. So because I gave up my curse, this belt no longer really has any kind of major purpose. And because I'm giving up the need to cast bone armor over and over again, the obsidian ring, that no longer has any kind of major purpose. So I gave up them two, and I went with Ring of Royal Grandeur, which freed up a inventory slot, and I've got this belt, so I went with Captain Crimson's trimmings. So I gained a bonus to my damage. I gained a bonus to my damage reduction. I also gained cooldown reduction, and I gained resource cost reduction. I got a lot of each. Anyways, long story short, the setup did better, but it just, or at least as well, but it wasn't any major like, wow, this is awesome. I mean, I don't know. It did a little bit. I don't know if I can even say a little bit better. The difficult part is that at this point, without the Devour and this thing here, it's like, I don't know. It just seems like actually a problem, I guess, with both builds is going to be running out of essence. Once I cast those bone spears, I'm going to be running out of a lot of essence, and I'm going to need some way to replenish it. Well, Grim Sith,
Should I find some new attire? These old things are becoming so small.
you know, Grim Sith is one way of doing that. Just doesn't replenish it all that fast. And I think that's going to be a major issue with this build in general. If I can't find ways to be able to replenish my essence fast enough, then I'm going to be spending a lot of time attacking with Grim Sith, which does nothing as far as damage goes. And very little time spent casting Bone Spear. And that's backwards. I want to be casting Bone Spear all the time. And at the moment, it works kind of well because I kill monsters fast enough where I get enough corpses where I can replenish my essence fast. But once I start getting up into the higher level rifts, I won't be getting as many corpses because I won't be killing things as fast, and then that's when the real danger is going to be coming, or danger or difficult part. was not having enough essence, and I was kind of hoping that with this Captain Crimson, that the cost to cast Bone Spear would go down low enough where that would compensate for the loss of the Devour, but it didn't really. It didn't really, as much as I would like to have seen that, it didn't really go down as much as I would wish it would. So, you know, I made a couple of mistakes at first. For instance, I had forgotten to take this off. Without Devour, this is meaningless. Well, I was using this build with that on there, so I took that off and put Leoric's Crown on, and I think I had this passive skill still active. Well, I'm not consuming corpses with this. All the corpses are being left there, so that was kind of a waste. But even after putting those back or switching those out, it just didn't do enough. Just didn't do enough. I was hoping. I guess I shouldn't have expected it to be a lot, because it's really only an extra 100% damage, which is not really all that much in the grand scheme of things. And I think I lost some damage because instead of using these two, I'm just using this, so that was a little bit loss of damage. Anyways, it just wasn't huge. It just wasn't like, wow, that's awesome. So anyways, I'm back to the other setup now, and one of the things that I want to try to remember how I did it was back, and I might be able to do it now. What level rifts have I been doing? I can't remember. Okay, I have been doing 80s. Now with my other character, my other Necromancer from a few seasons ago, I did pretty well with it. And for some reason I'm having trouble remembering what the build was before. It ended up being Legacy of Dreams build. What was it before that? Well, I know it was something to do with Inarius. And I thought I remembered. Pretty sure this was it, but this build just didn't seem to do very well, and I'm not sure why. I'm not sure what the difference is. So what I'm probably going to want to do is go back and review it and see, okay, what was different. You know, I think instead of this, maybe I had Unity going on with my my follower. I do also remember that the seasonal buff at that point was a really good seasonal buff for this type of build. That could be what the difference is. I may not have had Molten Wildebeest. I may have had a different thing. So anyways, I'm gonna have to go back and review and see what I did before. Maybe the items were just better. I'm not sure. I'm sure I did not have a primal piece on Inarius before, so anyways, I don't know, just getting a little, I wouldn't say frustrated, but just a little, like...
Magnificent.
I don't know. I almost feel like I've reached the limit of what I would be doing this season. At least, I don't know. Seems that way, anyways. Probably not. Probably not. Maybe I'm overreacting a little bit, but I don't know. This set just wasn't good enough. I mean, I'm only doing level 80s in these greater rifts. Granted, I'm doing them in 5 minutes, but you know, they just didn't put enough power into these. You know, maybe they should have said your Bone Spear deals 15,000% damage or 20,000% damage. I don't know, but that 10,000% was just not enough to make the 6-piece set. viable, I don't think. But anyways, for now, I guess what I'm going to do is I'm just going to level up this legendary gem to as high as I can get it, as well as my primary gems. And then go back and start leveling up some of these minor ones. So let's just get her done. Let's get some of these level 80 rifts before I do anything. Was I doing 80s before? Yeah, okay, in 6 minutes. All right, so here we go.
Embrace your power, and you will survive.
To recharge.
Do not fear the end.
Trying to see if I can start taking advantage of this seasonal thing, but this doesn't look like it does very much damage or at all.
This world can abide you no longer. frightens you.
The Rift Guardian has arrived.
I must wait. My essence is too low. That needs to recharge.
My name is Ash, and like Orin, when the if you have a hello.
Hello. Well, hello. That took a little bit longer than what I would normally have liked. Not sure why.
I'm returning to town.
Well fought, Nephilim.
Well done. You look like you could use a new item of, indeterminate usefulness.
La 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 la, what was I looking for? Ringy dingies.
See you soon.
I cannot afford that.
I cannot afford that. Strength. Alright, let's hit it. Do a second one. Go, go, go.
Enough to survive the trials?
See if I can do a better job of rounding creatures up like this. Maybe I shouldn't do that.
That needs to recharge.
Come on. Yeah, rounding them up I don't think works. Look at this guy shoot.
Give it more time. I must wait. I must wait. All must serve the cycle.
The Rift Guardian is here.
I need essence. I need essence. Give more time.
Not running out of essence. I think that's gonna be a big issue. I'm gonna have to try and figure out how to deal with
I'm
it.
here to help. You have a gem?
I have a gem.
I'm returning to town.
Every time I run out of essence, I've got to stop and attack with my Grim Sith.
Well done, champion.
Well done.
Suppose I don't need to be attacking with Grim Sith, do I? Maybe that's an issue there. I need to change.
Are you ready?
Ready. Bring it in.
Don't forget, luck
I cannot
always
afford that.
changes.
Nothing. Crusader. Do I look like a Crusader? Why am I guess I had been using Grim Sith because I was using Inarius. And I've got this Leaguer's Disdain here. But Grim Sith is no longer the Grim Sith is no longer doing really any kind of damage. There's no point necessarily in using Grim Sith per se. This one might be not a bad choice. Less damage, but look at that extra toughness. And it's because that Leaguer's Sustain that regenerates 6,900 life per second. That's almost a complete waste. this one would probably be the best choice. If I were gonna switch, this would probably be the best one. The ones that I have. I got another one of these. It's got reduced resource cost, which could be helpful. But I would put my money on this one. Let's see what I can switch out. Only thing is that this one usually is better if you have thorns in it. Switch it out for thorns, but because there's a thorns build based around it. But I think I'm gonna hold off on that for now and just try this. Let's see what I can get here. Bone spear damage, 12%. Toughness is gonna go down a little bit, but my damage is gonna skyrocket. That extra critical hit. And the bone spear damage itself. I don't know why I was still using the Grim Sith. I really shouldn't even be using Grim Sith. I should be using something else, something. Let's go with the poison one. Let's go with that one. Just I will be right back.